What's going on, everyone? My name is Dylan Lundgren. I'm an addiction recovery advocate and speaker. And I want to talk to you today about experience, the concept of biology over psychology. I was having this conversation with someone recently, and this came up. And what I was thinking about was not just addiction, but let's stop there for a moment. If you think about addiction, right? Addiction is biology winning out over psychology. In other words, we may not want to use a substance or engage in a behavior. We may know that psychologically with our intellect, but our biology tends to win out like every single time, just about. There may be exceptions to that where we muster up the willpower and just don't do it. And maybe we do that over time and we get out of the habit or behavior or even addiction. But for the most part, when it comes to things like addiction, where it has such a strong hold on us, unfortunately, biology wins out over psychology. So what does that have to do with experience? That's what I want to talk about a little bit today. Now, can we agree that experience is different than intellect? Seems pretty straightforward, right? Pretty simple. But how many times do we think about doing something? How many times do we imagine doing something? How many times do we theorize what it might be like to do something? And yet still don't do it. The experience happens in our biology, in our body, not so much in our mind. And this is the benefit of taking new action, is that we begin to change our biology, which then affects our psychology and creates a different experience. Versus trying so hard to change our psychology, to affect our biology, and have a different experience that way. I once did this leadership training in Florida, this amazing program called gratitude training. And one of the things they would talk about is this concept of be, do, have. Be, do, have. And the concept there is that from a state of being, we take different actions, which results in getting different results. So be, do, have. And one of the things I would do when I was struggling, and still do struggle, to be honest, with social awkwardness, learning how to get better at socializing, learning how to get better at dating, stuff like this, sober, I would go out by myself and approach random people. Didn't matter if it was a woman I was attracted to or just people, just learning in general how to follow this natural desire to connect. But instead of getting in my head and trying to figure out how to do that, I realized I'm going to have to take some action. I'm going to need some experience to actually inform my knowledge in this area, And so I would go out by myself to karaoke. I would go out by myself to bars, which I don't recommend if you're early in recovery. And for me, I was solid in my recovery. They know by after a few times, they know, oh, that's the dude that gets seltzer, And it was terrifying at first, absolutely terrifying. And after a while, my nervous system started to acclimate and I started to get comfortable in these situations. And not just comfortable, I started to have a good time. I started to have fun. I started to enjoy myself and my psychology began to change. But that started by shifting my biology, but my biology. By bringing my body into new situations, taking new actions, and letting that experience inform my mind and change my perception. So wherever you're at in the addiction or recovery process, today's video is more geared towards having fun in recovery, taking new action, not letting the recovery process be stagnant or simply just staying away from a substance or an addiction, or a substance, which is awesome, by the way. This is an amazing accomplishment, And at the same time, if you're anything like me, that gaping hole that a substance or addiction left really was a desire to feel alive, to feel connected. And so as I continue to pursue that, and I believe in a higher power, I believe in God, and for me, connecting with that higher power has a lot to do with following these desires, these healthy desires, and navigating that territory through experience, regardless of fear or anxiety, continuing to jump into the fire, so to speak, and having those experiences. And as a result, tend to feel more alive, more connected, and more grounded in recovery, a stronger purpose for recovery. So my hope is that we can experience this together. Once things open back up after COVID, who knows? Maybe I'll see some of you at karaoke and we can do a song together, or maybe we'll just do a virtual dance. I love electronic dance music, by the way. So my hope for you, my hope for us, is that we get to experience this together, to get out of our comfort zone and to take new actions, to put our biology into new situations in the direction of our dreams, so that we can transform this sense of despair with all these mental health challenges and overdoses and relapses and addiction, and transform all this into long-term recovery, fulfillment, and hope.